This Honorable Court of the Regional Trial Court Branch 219 with the Honorable Chief Justice Roper Gamali is now in session. Mr. Chief Justice Gamali, and may it please the Court, I am Danny May Palines, and I, along with my co-counsel, Eliza Joyce Alfonso, John Rainier Gallardo, Princess Mackenzie Danao, Rhea Cervantes, Winnie May Borsilio, Franz Ann Soriano, Ashley Gwen Boubier, Chini Kalimpusan, Luis Noro, and Althea Megan Escandor represent Group 3. Ms. Alfonso, Mr. Gallardo, and Ms. Danao will be addressing situation number 1. Then Ms. Cervantes, Ms. Borsilio, Ms. Soriano, and Ms. Boubier will be addressing situation number 2. And lastly, we have Ms. Kalimpusan, Mr. Noro, and Mrs. Candor that will be addressing situation number 3. Situation number 1. PinoyMP3.com is a web hosting provider that allows a subscriber to store MP3 files in their server and share it with other users. A local company sues PinoyMP3.com, but PinoyMP3.com responded by saying that they are not responsible for what their subscribers are storing in their servers. Is PinoyMP3.com correct?
Yes, indeed. They have no way of knowing or controlling what their subscribers desire to save and distribute. PinoyMP3.com just provides services by allowing their subscriber to access and store content. They are also solely accountable for their subscribers' actions. For each subscriber's privacy, they can erase, filter, and analyze their saved music. They are also in charge of publishing their rules and regulations on their server for their subscribers, but it is neither their job nor their power to force the members to access or browse the local music company.
As stated in Republic Act No. 8792, Section 30, or extent of liability of a service provider, except as otherwise provided in this section, no person or party shall be subject to any civil or criminal liability in respect of the electronic data message or electronic document for which the person or party acting as a service provider as defined in Section 5. Such service providers shall have no authority to modify or alter the content of the electronic document received or to make any entry therein on behalf of the originator, addressee, or any third party unless specifically authorized to do so. And who shall retain the electronic document in accordance with the specific request or as necessary for the purpose of performing the service it was engaged to perform.
Therefore, website hosting companies are not liable for anything that a subscriber uploads or distributes with others. The subscriber, not the site hosting service, is to blame if a user or subscriber share MP3 files to others. The web hosting provider must protect all the creator of the work from any possible explosion by the third parties, unless permission was given by the original creator. This same set of rules applies to individual songs regardless of the popularity of the artist. A web hosting provider must allow all of its users freedom of expression and speech. If a user or subscriber submit plagiarized content, the plagiarized content owner must communicate with the user or subscriber who submitted it. If the user fails to respond to the message of the owner, the website hosting service must be contacted by the owner.
Situation number 2. Bento found out that his office mate posted libelous claims against him in an online forum operated by Facebook.com. However, he was not able to establish the identity of the person who posted the claim. Can Bento file a libel case against Facebook.com for allowing the libelous post?
No. Berto can file a libel case against Facebook.com because according to definition of terms in Republic Act No. 8792, Chapter 2, Section 5, service provider shall have no authority to modify or alter the content of the electronic data message or electronic document received or to take any entry therein on behalf of the originator, addressee, or any third party unless specifically authorized to do so. It means that Facebook is not the one who is responsible for the libelous post towards the addressee. Facebook has no control to any contents that we upload. Instead, Facebook allows us to say or post anything that we want, regardless if it's good or not.
Facebook has nothing to do with Berto's case because as a matter of fact, this service provider help us to maintain our privacy that assure our safety and protection. It's unjustifiable for Berto to sue Facebook. There are many ways for him to take action regarding his situation, like taking legal action to know the identity of his office mate and file a case against him or her.
In addition to that, Berto cannot file libel cases against Facebook due to the Communication Decency Act, which protects most social media platforms from libel lawsuits, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media websites. As stated by the terms and conditions signed by Facebook in Section 3.2, they can remove or restrict access to any content information or services if they determine that doing so is reasonably necessary to avoid or mitigate adverse legal or regulatory impacts on their website.
Aside from that, Facebook is all about freedom of speech and self expression, and it is meant to represent real people and real associations. It's also meant to be safe. But the moment a user compromises anyone's safety or breaks any law, disciplinary action is taken.
Situation number 3. Pedro sent a promissory note via text message to Juan, promising that he will return the money he borrowed plus 2% interest on Monday. However, Pedro returned the money on the said day without the interest, saying to Juan that their agreement was not valid in court because they did not affix their signatures. Is Pedro's reason valid?
As stated in the Republic Act 8792, Section 6, Legal Recognition of Electronic Data Message. Information shall not be denied validity that it is in the form of an electronic data message, purporting to give rise to such legal effects, or that it is merely incorporated by reference in that electronic data message.
Also, according to Republic Act number 8792, Section 27, which says that there should be an issued permit, license, or approval in the form of electronic data messages or electronic documents, require and or accept payments and issue receipt acknowledging such payments through system using electronic data messages or electronic documents.
Therefore, Pedro has no valid justifications for not paying the interest on what he owes Juan because of the text message, which can serve as compelling evidence that he pledged to return the money with interest. Pedro must still pay the interest because he sent a promissory note, even though it was only through a text message and they didn't affix their signatures there. It must still be valid and it can be denied. He violated the law by not only giving the borrowed interest, which is an additional 2%, he also had the conspicuous mindset to claim that the transaction was invalid in court, since both parties didn't affix their signatures. This much proves that Pedro shamelessly violated the law, since it is said that the control processes and procedures are appropriate to ensure adequate integrity, security, and confidentiality of electronic data messages or electronic documents on records or payments.
Thank you, everyone. Court is adjourned. Order in the court.